Jackson said that the meaning of Nuremberg would begin to emerge in the century run. He described it in his foreword to Whitney's book as the most important, enduring work of his life, but he knew it would be a much longer-lasting thing than his own mortal time with us. And we're only 60 years into that project. And I think that project is captured in all of those speeches, in all of that simple conceptual architecture that he built, in all of that talking that he did on those travels, and in a story that he loved to tell. The story, and I'm sure you've heard this from many speakers, involves 3 stonemasons on their knees, chisels in hand, working on some big piece of stone. And a bystander comes up and says, "What are you doing?" And the first mason looks up and, with disdain and distraction says, "I'm chiseling. Leave me alone." And the second mason kind of looks up and he says, "I'm carving a sculpture." The third mason looks up from his knees, covered with dust, on the ground, and says, "I am building a cathedral." That story was part of Jackson's speech at the American Bar Association Center in Chicago in 1953. That phrase, a year later, was chiseled over the building itself. It's still there on the University of Chicago campus, and the building was dedicated, and Jackson was back a year later for that with Whitney Harris, a cathedral to the rule of law. And that's all that we face as the challenge here. It's a very simple project of great complexity as you apply it to particular contexts, of great duration and difficulty in all of its particular permutations, but incredibly simple and basic in its fundamental. It is about what we all want, what we all value, what we all find is meaningful in our lives, and that is the peace and freedom that war attacks. And thus, when one starts it, they have crossed the fundamental line of universal criminality, and we, in the legacy of Nuremberg, have a challenge to continue to build that cathedral, to hold them accountable for that law breaking. Thank you.